Coronavirus disease has spread across the world, emerging as a pandemic, traumatizing the entire globe and taking control of the entire population. What we are going to discuss today here is the impact on implications for people with disability and the elderly. This research article has been published by IMPRI team.
According to Census 2011, the elderly population, that is, people above the age of 65 years, in India is 10.4 crores and the disabled population is 2.6 crores. This is the most vulnerable section of the society, who constitute of 10% of the total population of the country. Including the disabled, out of the total older population, 2.1 crores belong to the poorest households, having a monthly household income of less than rupees 2,900. These segments are some of the worst hit in terms of accessibility, availability and affordability of basic living services and affected by depression, anxiety, etc. The emphasis on social distancing and the lockdown extension was to urge to give extra care to the elderly, especially those with chronic diseases. The not seen and not experienced before sudden lockdown in the country has led to panic and social, economic and health emergencies, wherein the person with disabilities and elderly are among the worst affected. According to UN, unless the governments and communities take action, this section will continue to face problems during the COVID-19 pandemic.
This graph clearly shows the mortality rate in elderly. As already discussed, mortality rate in the elderly is the highest. 65 plus years is about 4% and average mortality is 2%. However, we can see that the highest is in the bracket of 85 plus years at 15%. The elderly population has seen an increase over the years from 5.6% in 1961 to 8.6% in 2011. Now, what is interesting to note here is that 71% of the elderly population reside in rural areas, whereas only 29% in urban areas. There is an interesting statistics that we are presenting to you here, that most of the disabled population does not receive a grant. As can be seen in the graph, only 26% receive a grant from the government aid. Now, another interesting fact, according to the NSS 76th round report, is that 28% of the total disabled people have disability certificates, which implies only 70 lakh people out of 2.6 crores disabled people have the certificates. Only 21.8% of the individuals receive the government grant or the government aid. Rest of them do not receive any aid or any grant. Only 1.8, close to about 2%, receive grant from other organizations other than the government.
People with disability and the elderly are dependent on caregivers. 4% of persons with disability and 14% of elderly live alone. The frequent visits to hospitals and rehabilitation centers are often a requirement. The policy decision of a lockdown is not sensitive to them.
The most common disability among the aged persons was locomotor disability and visual disability, with around 5% of the 60 plus population having a physical disability. There are 21 major categories of disability according to the Disabilities Act 2016. Major categories belong to locomotor, visual disability, hearing disability, speech and language disability, mental illness, mental retardation or intellectual disability, and other disabilities. Let us now look at the government policies, acts and welfare framework. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment was the nodal union ministry responsible for the senior citizens and persons with disabilities. Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act 2007 was initiated for providing more effective provisions for the elderly. National Policy for Senior Citizens 2011 was aimed at the welfare of older persons and underlined the value of an age integrated society. This policy laid out 8 areas of intervention, which included income security in old age, healthcare, safety and security, housing, productive aging, welfare, multi-generational bonding, and media. Another integrated program for senior citizens was provided to improve the quality of life of senior citizens through providing support for capacity building of state, union territory governments or non-governmental organizations, panchayati raj institutions, local bodies and the communities at large. This integrated program for senior citizens was intended for providing basic amenities like shelter, food, medical care, in entertainment opportunities, and was more encouraging the productive and active aging among the senior citizens.
The National Social Assistance Program, or the NSAP, came into effect from 15th August 1995. It was introduced for the poor and aims at ensuring a minimum national standard for social assistance in addition to benefits from states that are currently providing it. Under this program, around 4 crore beneficiaries have been digitalized in all, including 3.3 crore under central schemes and around 70 lakh beneficiaries under state schemes.
Let us now see the budgetary allocation of selected components of the National Social Assistance Program in SAP. If you see, as per the table, close to about 8,000 crores has been allocated for the beneficiaries under this scheme. As can be seen in the table, states are also providing financial assistance for the persons with disability and elderly under various schemes. The tables show the existing state government disability and old age pension schemes and financial assistance in India. However, we can see that the highest amount that has been allocated as a monthly pension is in Andhra Pradesh, which is about 3,000 rupees per month, which according to us is a very low amount and there should be a further increase in that. Almost 3/4, that is 73% of the elderly population are working in low productive and subsistence agriculture sector, which is followed by construction at 7.5% and hotel and trade at 6.8%. So this means that 87% of elderly population belonging to the bottom 40% of the households on economic ladder are vulnerable and in worst conditions. They need urgent assistance, particularly in the absence of any alternative livelihood opportunities. So the table here clearly describes the latest work-related details for elderly and disabled in percentage. So the highest percentage of people are in the self-employed group, which is about 72% in case of elderly and 60% in case of the disabled population. Agriculture contributes to the next highest work-related, which is 63% for elderly and 48% for the disabled. So what do we see as a way forward, or what can be done? So basically what needs to be done is that the government needs to urgently set aside a corpus of its resources for the disabled sector and provide them immediate relief. With the mandatory social distancing advised for senior citizens, there is a rapid growing changes in their behavior in terms of loneliness, restricted mobility, lack of financial security, and many other problems. Organizations and persons with disability and disability rights or advocacy groups should be involved to harness their expertise and play an important role in raising awareness, and they should disseminate information among the disabled persons in addition to advocating for disability inclusive responses to COVID-19 emergency. Coordinated efforts by all the stakeholders, including governments, communities, and civil society organizations, are extremely crucial and important at this juncture. And it has to be supplemented with the active support of the citizens. Affirmative actions to decontaminate these disabled communities from the perils of coronavirus can have a far-reaching impact.
In the current situation of health emergency, the elderly and the disabled people face multiple challenges. It is the responsibility of the government at all levels to work in tandem with each other and with the civil society organizations to provide increased emergency funding such that the elderly and disabled remain healthy, anxiety-free and safe at home. We believe that through the concentrated action, India could set an example before the world and successfully contain this humanitarian crisis.